Welcome back to Level Headed Gamer, guys. My name is Joseph, and with the year 2020 just days away from ending, it was an amazing year for all gamers, whether it's been the launch of next-gen consoles or the many excellent games we've got to play over the year. But let's look to the future, to the top 20 games of the year we can look forward to in 2021. Outriders. Outriders is a looter shooter brought to you by People Can Fly, the developers who brought you Bulletstorm, the Painkiller series, as well as helped co-develop Fortnite and several of the Gears of War games as well. Marrying Mass Effect biotic powers and Borderlands looter shooter mechanics, it is a smaller title from a smaller studio than any action RPG slash third-person shooter fanatic should keep their sharp eyes on. Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon Forbidden West is a sequel to the wildly successful PS4 title Horizon Zero Dawn. Following the heroine Aloy in a futuristic, post-apocalyptic future where animal-like machines have taken over the world, you will explore uncharted lands of the west coast of America in search of a source of a mysterious plague that kills all it infects. The title aims to take full advantage of PS5 graphical horsepower to deliver a truly epic experience. Monster Hunter Rise. Monster Hunter Rise is a return of the franchise back to the Nintendo platform, coming with an all-new story, locations, weapons, monsters, as well as some familiar beasts recognizable to any fan of the 17-year-old monster hunting franchise. This entry into the series is looking to take what they have built with Monster Hunter World and innovate on many key features, including mounts, new traversal mechanics, and combat mechanics. This game should be on any Nintendo Switch owner's radar, especially with a demo coming in January. Deathloop. Deathloop is a game developed by now the revered Arcane Studios, the guys responsible for the Dishonored franchise, Dark Messiah of Might and Magic, and their wonderful reimagining of the first-person shooter Prey. In Deathloop, you'll play as Colt, who is stuck in a time loop on the island of Black Reef and is tasked with taking out 8 targets, as leaving even one alive resets this time loop. To make matters worse, he's simultaneously hunted by an assassin, Juliana, a second player-controlled character who will be tasked with preventing Colt from achieving his mission. In this mix of single, multiplayer game that is sure to inject new life into the multiplayer genre. Ghostwire Tokyo. Ghostwire Tokyo is a game developed by none other than the legendary Shinji Mikami, who is responsible for directing the very first Resident Evil, Dino Crisis, as well as developing cult classics Vanquish and Evil Within. In Ghostwire Tokyo, you will take control of a yet unannounced protagonist from a first-person perspective, who will utilize powerful arsenal of spectral abilities to fight the evil threat and uncover how 99% of Tokyo residents have mysteriously disappeared. God of War Ragnarok. God of War Ragnarok is a direct continuation of Cory Barlog's vision of the story of Kratos and his son have embarked on in the Norse lands. Little is known about this title, but if the ending of the first game is any hint, bad things are brewing, and the father and son will have to face the wrath of the Norse gods, as well as Ragnarok, which in Norse mythology means final destruction of the world. If that does not tickle your fancy, I do not know what will. Resident Evil Village. Resident Evil Village is set a few years after the events of the previous title, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Following the same protagonist Ethan, as his world comes crashing down when a familiar character to the franchise, Chris Redfield, sets off a chain of events that leads the main character to a mysterious village in Europe. The game is looking to expand on everything from the previous game and improve on every facet and take full advantage of the next-gen hardware. This is a title that any horror fan should keep their eye on this year. Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Vampire Masquerade is an upcoming action RPG based on the tabletop role-playing game of the same name, and a sequel to a cult classic PC title, Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines. Taking place in the 21st century Seattle, where you take on the role of a person who is one of the human beings unwillingly turned into a vampire, and enter a dark world full of vampires, werewolves, demons, and various creatures. If action RPGs and dark gothic vampire lore is your jam, then this game is developed by a veteran studio should be something exactly for you. Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy is every Harry Potter fan's dream set in 1800s, where the player will get a chance to choose their Hogwarts house and attend classes of wizardry, as well as explore an open world full of exciting things to do. Developed by Avalanche Studios, the team behind the Just Cause games, and Mad Max, this makes it just a perfect combination for all those die-hard fans. Set to release on all Sony and Microsoft consoles and the PC this year. Hoods, Outlaws, and Legends. Hoods, Outlaws, and Legends is a different kind of game releasing this year, coming from the publisher Focus Home Interactive, the publisher behind A Plague's Tale, Greedfall, and Vampire. Hood, Outlaws, and Legends is looking to tread different ground with its competitive medieval multiplayer game in this PvE-PvP blend, where two teams of 4 are tasked with stealing a treasure and try to getting away with it while facing off against enemy AI as well as 4 other players in a race to steal the loot. If multiplayer is your thing and you're looking for something that's not necessarily super high budget but unique, then this game is right up your alley. Kena Bridge of Spirits. Kena Bridge of Spirits is a project of 14 passionate developers looking to bring this Pixar-esque action-adventure game akin to Zelda in March of 2021. Grow your own team of small spirit allies known as the Rot, who maintain balance by decomposing dead and rotting elements. Use your newfound allies to solve puzzles, engage in combat, and traverse a beautiful landscape rich with things to explore. New World. New World is an Amazon Game Studios entry into the MMORPG arena, where you get to create your own character and explore a fictional colonial America. Looking to inject more action skill-based combat into the MMO genre and introduce some massive PvP battles, it is looking to come out swinging with both feet planted in the ground to stake its claim as the new kid on the block. This is the perfect game for all those massive MMO fans looking for something new to look forward to in 2021. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is a continuation of this wonderful PS4 remake of the classic Ratchet & Clank series, looking to show the true power of the PS5 with no load times, ray tracing, and gameplay that will involve bending time and space, putting our titular characters through a new and exciting adventure. An action platformer that is shaping up to be one of the most exciting PS5 exclusives to date. Returnal. Returnal is a new game from the Finnish developer Housemarque, a little studio you might know for their indie games Nex Machina, Alienation, and Resogun games. Gameplay looking to mix the best parts of ReCore and Metroid. This title looks to take roguelike elements and interweave them into a sci-fi story with spectacular third-person action-based combat in this PS5 exclusive coming next year. Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite was set to release as an Xbox Series X and S launch title to only be delayed to next year when the initial reception was underwhelming. This title looks to focus back on our protagonist Master Chief and his exploits in a more sandbox type of level structure where you're free to tackle objectives in different order. Despite the initial drama, it is still a title to be excited about, as this is after all the next game in the Halo franchise, which there's going to be a legendary multiplayer competitive mode we all know and love. Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights is an action RPG game set in the Batman universe. Developed by the Warner Bros. Montreal, the team behind the underrated Batman Arkham Origins game. After the death of Batman and the rise of crime and lawlessness spikes in Gotham, we take on the role of one of 4 characters, Nightwing, Robin, Batgirl, or Red Hood, to take down several Batman villains as well as the Court of Owls. This time around, prepare to bring a friend along in a 2-player, fully co-op action RPG. Hitman 3. Hitman 3 is the 8th game in the series coming from the studio IO Interactive, who's responsible not just for the Hitman games, but the cult favorite Freedom Fighters. This game will fulfill the ultimate Hitman fantasy, giving the player unprecedented level of freedom with huge sandbox levels and freedom of approach. A staple this franchise has firmly stood behind since its inception. Far Cry 6. Far Cry 6 is going to be set in a fictional Caribbean island of Yara. Far Cry is a franchise much like the other Ubisoft titles. It's that comfort food you come to expect and love. Not much has been shown about this game as of now except the cinematic trailer. But what we can expect for sure is a beautiful setting, guns, explosions, and a villain that's equal parts psychotic and charming, played by none other than Giancarlo Esposito from The Mandalorian and Breaking Bad TV shows. STALKER 2. STALKER 2 might be an anomaly for many gamers, especially console gamers. However, its predecessor, STALKER of Shadow of Chernobyl, is inspiration for many games such as the Metro series, as well as predates Fallout 3 and 4. The cult status of the Ukrainian developer GSC Game World has achieved to have any fan of the post-apocalyptic genre excited, looking to take advantage of the Xbox Series X and the PC hardware alike. Gran Turismo 7. If there's any game synonymous with the Sony brand, it is the racing sim Gran Turismo. With previous past couple of titles falling short of the mark, Polyphony is looking to make a grand return to form and bring back its dominance in the racing simulation world, aiming to utilize the power of the PlayStation 5 as well as developers' meticulous attention to detail and realism. It's going to take its rightful place among other racing greats. And there we go. 2021 is looking like another great year for gaming. The winners in this all is us gamers. But let me know down below, which games are you waiting for? What games have I omitted that you're looking forward to yourself? And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe down below for more great gaming news and content. And Happy New Year, guys!